Well, that's it. The Vancouver real estate bubble has officially burst. And I can tell you that's true because this townhome in Vancouver that was listed for $1.8 million only sold for $840,000. So that's it. I now regret selling real estate. And in reality, we're all fine because this article is a little bit more than meets the eye. So I'm going to go through it and I'm going to tell you exactly what went on with this sale and the absolute junk that the Georgia Strait is reporting on the Vancouver real estate market. But I'm only going to do so after I ask you to please subscribe to the channel if you would like to stay up to date a little bit on Vancouver real estate, but really my market is in Surrey and the Fraser Valley. And please, if you're sick of articles like this trying to make you scared about your recent home purchases, please make sure to go ahead and click the like button so I can get this information out to other people who shouldn't fall for terrible headlines like this one. And if you are looking to get a property that is worth $1.8 million for only $800,000, well, you're out of luck. But if you would realistically like to buy a market value property, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description to talk about your situation and see if buying for you is good now or maybe later. And as always, you can download my Informed Buyer's Guide right now down below, also in the description. And now let's get into this article because I am hot and bothered again at the media for putting out information like this. Vancouver townhouse listed for over $1.8 million sells for a steal at only $828. Let's keep going through the article here. Now, they made the mistake of actually putting in the address so I can fact check them, and don't worry, I did, and I even made notes. So let me walk you through it here. This property was assessed. We all know assessed value means nothing. It's how much money the government wants out of you for taxation, but either way, this property was assessed at $1.698 million. On January 13th, it came on the market at $1.8 to $8,800. It's a 2-story plus basement in a relatively new development on Oak Street. So here's what I did before I go any no, let's keep going. On January 31st, the property price was reduced and then again on March 3rd to $1.788. And then we keep going down. On May 9th, the townhouse was sold, it says here, for $840. This means it went for 54% of its original asking price. So let's break down what this really means. First of all, its original asking price means nothing in relation to market value. When I originally saw this article, I was thinking, okay, somebody probably had a property listed for way too much money and it probably sold for market value. Well, that turned out also not to be true because I did dive in here to the numbers and I pulled up comparable sales. And yes, indeed, this property did sell. It's registered here at $840,000. It was listed at $1.738 when it actually sold. Now, you'll notice that in the same area here, I have the whole 100 block of townhouses. There's sales all the way from last year or even 2020 in the 1.2-ish range. And there is even a sale as high as 1.6 that happened more than a year ago. But we are only going to focus on this top property. So indeed, let's check. I don't know why it said $828 in the article because the sale price here posted is $840,000. So yes, indeed, it at one point came on the market at 1.828. It was indeed also listed and reduced to, well, $90,000 less than that at one point, and then it went and sold at $840,000. So on its surface, the Georgia Strait is telling you the truth, and the Metro Vancouver housing market bubble has finally burst. But that is not how it works. And everybody out there being a armchair realtor, let me tell you, this is wrong. and I'm going to explain to you exactly why it's wrong. Now, what I cannot share with you is the private information that I can see on the back end of this transaction, of which is the homeowners. But anyway, let's keep moving along here. This was a foreclosure sale. This means that for some reason, the creditor or whoever was owed money on the property got approval from the court to sell this property. And in foreclosures, this is what people think actually happens, that a property is going to be listed or worth, let's call it 1.6 in the tax assessment. They're going to get that property for half price because they're buying that property through some distressed owner who can't afford to, for some reason, sell it for half price on their own, and the property has to be foreclosed. So I did speak personally to the listing agent for this property. He is from Remax, and that is RP Luque of Team Luque in Maple Ridge on Dudney Trunk, a good brokerage and a long-time great realtor. And I spoke to him and I found out the details, and exactly what I thought probably did happen actually did happen. And that's this. Now, when you have a foreclosure sale, here's kind of how it goes. The person that is foreclosing, usually a bank, but it could be a strata corporation or other people.
Or companies.
Yes, or even companies or lenders or whoever it is, whoever has the right to foreclose on that property, they'll go to court, they'll get a court order, and then they will have the right to sell that property if that right is granted to them by a judge. So that's exactly what happened here. The property went for sale for 1.8, let's call it 1.7 at one point. And after speaking with the listing agent, and he can give me this information because it is public knowledge, and that's just kind of how a court sale does differ. When you get an accepted offer that is unconditional, that is going to court, that is the only time you're actually allowed to disclose that offer amount, because when you go to court, there is a new sealed bidding system. So you will know what the offer is. And if you're going to submit another offer, it has to be higher than, it's not open bidding, but it has to be higher than the other offers. So he told me that he did accept an offer on this property at $1.68 million. That is double what the property actually sold for. And he was at that point going to court and expecting at court multiple other bids, meaning more than one other buyer would be coming to court to compete and likely drive that price up. But then what happened? Well, exactly what I thought actually would happen when I saw that price. There is something in our industry called a half interest sale. What is a half interest sale? Well, it means that there are two owners that are not joint owners on the property, and they each own a specific interest, in this case 50-50. So what really happened in this transaction was one owner owned 50% of the property and another owner owned another 50% of the same property. However, only one of those owners was actually foreclosed upon. So the property did go to market, but once they found out that this is market value and we did accept another offer on behalf of the company that was foreclosing, the other 50% owner who was not being foreclosed on quickly came up with that next half of the money and bought the entire property for themselves. So Georgia Strait, you need to retract this article completely, because this sale of a property that apparently sold for 50% less than its own market value actually was only 50% of the property being sold. So sorry to tell you, everybody that clicked on this, no, the bubble has not burst. Nothing has changed in the market. We are in a declining market, which we are expecting when interest rates increase. However, media outlets like this that put out this type of information to try and scare everybody, it's absolutely frustrating to me. You need to hire an agent that can walk you through the process and where the market is right now so you can make the best decision for you. And an article like this is meant to scare you into selling or not buying, or probably just clicking on their ads. So let me know what you think now that you know that this property was actually worth very likely exactly what it was tax assessed at.
Just a really quick update, actually. I just pressed finish on this video, and I noticed this because I spoke to the listing agent, let him know exactly that this article was out and about. The Georgia Strait has now put in a clarification saying that they were indeed wrong.
And remember that if you need help determining the value of your home or purchase when you're looking in Surrey or the Fraser Valley, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks at a time that works best for you. Please remember to subscribe to stay up to date on Surrey and the Vancouver market. Click the like button, check out another video before you go, and we'll see you in a couple of days.